Hello again. Welcome back to Asgard and welcome back to RLCraft. I have some super exciting news for you guys today. This is something I've actually been waiting for this for a while, right? Because about every, couple days, I check this to see kind of where we're at on mob items and kind of what we've got going. And guess what? We have something that I've been waiting for. We're going to be farming a bit more for some of this stuff a little bit later, but we're actually picking back up shortly after last episode's recording because I noticed that and I got really excited. So now is the time we're going to make ourselves an equipment forge. I've mentioned this a couple times throughout the series that we were going to be getting into Lycanites, but you kind of have to have certain pieces before you can start it, so there's no reason in rushing into it until you have time to farm up a bit in terms of mobs. But what we're going to be making is we're going to be going straight for the Master Equipment Forge. There's not a lot of reason to make the Tier 2 or the Tier 3. Unless you just get a lot of Lycanites drops early on before you have diamonds and stuff like that. Because the Tier 3 is going to give you access to full effects, whereas if you have like the Tier 1 and you have, say, a Tier 3 Darkling Skull, it's going to nerf it down to a Tier 1. The same with Tier 2. So going for the Tier 3 is ideal because you're going to get a full effect from your stuff. This stuff, luckily from that dungeon, I got the iron, but that's okay because what we're going to be doing today is going to make getting iron super easy. So there's our Greater Equipment Forge, and then I need 18 levels to drop down the Master Equipment Forge. 18 levels in building, and I have 12. Okay, well, I'll tell you what. I don't know if it's going to be enough. Well, there's that for starters. And then I've also got in one of these. No, not in one of these. Where did I put it? Okay. In this, there's 32 levels. Aha! Oh wait, I need 18 levels. I looked at this number and was like, oh, I got to 18. Not quite, but I'm really close. So that's going to be easy to rush out and go get that. Now, I don't have the materials that I want to make a really good weapon at the moment. Of course, there's different weapons and stuff like that that you can make with the Weapon Forge. We're going to get into those a bit later. Now, I got Protection 2 and Unbreaking 3, which is good, I suppose. Ha! There's a blighted creeper here. There we go. Yeah, we don't get nearly as much XP from those as I think we're supposed to, but that's all right. Okay, so anyways, we will be making weapons, like I said, but we need the right parts to do it, and so we're not making weapons today. What we are going to make is our very first Lycanites tool, because we got things that we need last episode. Let's go ahead and grab our 18 on building. I've got 15 levels. I don't know if I want to spend that on... Oh, we could get transmutation. I mean, I need 3 more skill points to do it, but that could be useful because we're going to be going to the Nether soon. I mean, we've got some chorus fruit, but not a lot. Let's go ahead and just drop this down. And this is the UI for this. Now, what we're going to do, this means you need a base part, right? And if we take a look in here, I've got a few different, if you notice right below the green text, it says slot type base. So we've got slot type base there. And I'm going to go ahead and organize these a little bit so we have them sorted. I will say that for the tool, I'm not as worried about what we use as our base and stuff. We'll get more into this stuff a little bit later whenever we're actually making weapons. Let's see, these are all heads. That's an axe. That's a blade. I don't know why those stacked before. Most of what we have at the moment is heads. But we need a base piece, and we can see the effects. Like this is instability, and it has a chance to summon an Argus, 5% chance to summon an Argus there at the bottom. And then there's also the Zaphan spines, which do penetration, which is only a tier 1. That actually might be what we go with. or Spectre Tendrils. Because all of these should add what we want. I don't really care about getting a pommel on this. So if you look at the very, very bottom of this, it says add slot head, add slot pommel. That's going to add, like, for example, if I take this base and I put this into here, it's going to add a pommel slot and it's going to add a head slot. But I actually don't care about having a pommel on this piece. So I think what we're going to go with is going to be like... we'll go with the Argus tail is going to be our base. And then for the head, I want to go with... if you notice, all the different heads add different things. So the Banshee Eye, if you look down at the bottom, it adds slot blade. Darkling Skull adds blade. Warg Skull adds a pike, and that's, you know, different type of weapon. And then the Ventoraptor adds axe, and I want to go with an axe for the head, something that adds slot axe, and it's going to give weakness to the target. That's fine because we're not really using this for that. That's going to be what it applies to mobs and stuff whenever it's used to attack them. And then we have blades, and I have this right here. This is an axe, and its harvest is pickaxe. Okay, this is where things get really crazy. This is just a Vapula crystal, a level 3 Vapula crystal. Now, based on the level, you're going to see that the range is 333, 10, 10, 10, and then 21, 21, 21. And another really good axe type is Geoduck Fists, because they do 112, 244, and 6, 12, 12. Then there's also, let's see, there was another one. I was thinking there was one, it was Geoduck Spears. This is 114, 2216, and 3348. So you can have these pickaxes that just dig basically big 3x3 tunnels, is what that does, with the Geoduck Spears. So there's different things, depending on the shape that you want to go with, that you can use. But we're going to go ahead and take our Argus tail, put it in the base slot. We're going to take our Ventoraptor skull and put it in the head slot. And then we can take this and put it into the axe slot. And technically we could have another axe. I don't really have one. So let's go ahead and just pull this out. And we're going to call this finished equipment. Okay. If we take a look here, that's what we've got. It's like backwards. Okay. Well, let's head on down. Alright, and what we can do, let's, this is where I've been mining stone, for example. Let's go ahead and just mine this up. Boom! That's what happens. That is what happens. And you'll notice no durability damage at all. These things have infinite durability. And we have created a monster pickaxe. Of course, we do get a big lag spike when we use it. And you will notice that it didn't mine the iron. But we can come through and just mine that. It's crazy, right? It's crazy. And this is going to be a great way for me to build up stone. Oh, I just noticed too. It actually drops cobblestone. It didn't even dawn on me because I'm normally used to things dropping cobblestone. But this packet drops the little like shards, and this doesn't. It actually drops full-fledged cobblestone, which that is huge. That makes such a big difference actually. So, but this way I can basically expose all the iron and just boom, have lots of cobblestone, because I don't actually need granite. I should throw that down and grab more of this wonderful, wonderful cobble. But I'm so happy we got that Ventoraptor skull because it enables me to make a pickaxe. Now, technically, I could make it a little bit better if I had a third part to it. But let's go ahead and switch. Oh, I can't switch it. I've got to have it on this side. But you can just add this in and add things and remove things at will. So these tools are basically like the ultimate of the ultimate. Lycanites has some awesome tools, but they tend to be a little bit more... they take a little bit more work to get into. But just wait until we get into the weapons. Like, if you want to see some crazy weapons. Because bear in mind that all of these all of these things add effects. Like, for example, Astaroth Claws add wither effects to the mobs, and you can do like Strength 3 wither effect on target, which just means it's gonna like sap it dead like super fast. So we're gonna have some fun with those. But now we have an ultimate pickaxe basically, and it was brought up in the comments that I can get more hearts, but I need 5 levels. That is wrong. Okay, I was wanting to check that, but that doesn't work. I've got 16 levels. Okay, so now that we've got our super pickaxe, I don't know, we probably won't use it for like all the time kind of purpose. I'll probably still carry like a regular pickaxe on me. Of course, you can make some nerf down style, you know, like, you know, go with like a tier 1 Vapula crystal, and it's only a 3x3x3 that you dig out. So you can kind of change it based on what you want. And the nice thing is, like I said, you can just switch your parts at will. You don't have to make the best possible thing right out the gate. And actually, I guess we could go ahead and throw a blade together so we could go ahead and see what it would come out with. But let's say, for example, we wanted to go with like a base Spectre Tendril, I think. This gives decay and has a chance to summon a Spectre, a 5% chance to summon a Spectre. But it only adds head. I really like something that adds head and pommel, which would be the Zafan Spine. It gives penetration. It's only a tier 1, but let's go ahead and use that for right now. This is just kind of an example weapon. And then for the... Actually, I don't even have a pommel at the moment, do I? No. Okay, so let's put that away. Let's just go with the Spectral Tendril rank 3 then. Which adds the head slot. And we're going to take the... Let's see, there's damage 2 on the Darkling Skulls. And they give Leech, which is pretty good. Damage 2 on the Warg Skull. Damage 2 on the Banshee, which gives Fear. And Wargs give Paralyze. Ventilraptors give Weakness. Has a chance to summon a Banshee. No, let's go with the Darkling Skulls. Like the rank 3 Darkling Skull for this. And then we're going to need a blade. Now, I've got 2 different types of blades. I have the Grue Claws and I have the Cinder Blades. Now, the Grue Claws have a 5% chance to summon a Grue. They also work as a shovel that digs in a 3x3x3. So you could have a weapon that's also a shovel that digs a 3x3x3. And if you get the higher tier Grue Claw, it digs... Okay, it digs a 3x3x3 as well. So they don't actually go up. But it is a blade type. Now, it's important that you look at the add slot. Like, for example, this adds a blade, but like the Ventilraptor adds an axe. So you couldn't use a blade with something that adds an axe. Okay. But I'm actually going to take the Cinder Blade, I think. This is actually a pretty cool one. Because if you notice at the bottom of Cinder Blade, it has Projectile Ember. It's a secondary use trigger, and it does a spread pattern. And it also gives fire to the target. So this is basically a flaming weapon at this point. So let's go ahead and drop that in there, drop that in there, drop that in there. And we have this thing. And this thing, okay, that's what it looks like. And if you hold, I don't think it actually burns down your stuff, but just to be on the safe side, because it has been, well, I guess the main time I've ever used this stuff has been in creative in the pack that I've been working on. So let me kill this guy here. As far as damage, this is a 1.6 attack speed, 8 attack damage, which we can actually do a lot better. This is mainly made with, well, it's a level 2 Cinder Blade, but we can actually do quite a bit better. But if we hold right-click, we now shoot fire out, which will set mobs on fire. And let's see, can I find a mob? Go ahead and kick on night vision here. Okay, here's a spider. So if we shoot fire at it, you can see it doesn't do like a ton of damage or anything, but it does hold them at bay. It does like a little bit of knockback. And so we can actually use this on like hordes of mobs. And with the spread pattern, it'll actually work out pretty good. As you can see, they have no durability. These are just ultimate super weapons, basically. So we are going to start working on getting a weapon together. But it's going to take a little bit because we're going to have to go out and actually farm a bit of mob parts before we can do that. And then once again, if I wanted to break this down and change anything, I can just throw it, right here, and just pull these pieces out. So I'm not actually going to keep this weapon because it's not that great for us at the moment, but we are going to be making one of those. There's also pikes, of course. And I still remember when this was all getting added, and and it was so much hype for me because I was working on, you know, my mod pack, and that was like one of the first mods that I added was Lycanites. So I was like, okay, gotta have this in here. And when I started messing with it, I was like, ooh, what's this equipment forge? Because it was like, you know, it was a new feature. And it wasn't implemented, so there was only a few mobs that had mob parts, and you didn't really know how any of it worked whenever it was first shown up. It was first started being added, I should say, because there wasn't like the equipment forge and stuff like that initially. And so it was actually kind of a hype process of waiting for this stuff and seeing it added as, you know, as time went on and everything. So you can also do like this right here. There's the iron hilt, and there's actually a wood rod that you can make. You can make some wooden tools or some handcrafted stuff. There's an iron pike joint. So you can craft stuff, but I wouldn't, you know, when you've got other types of weapons like the dragon bone stuff, I would just wait. This stuff's not all that great. I would just wait until you have the mob drops and make a really good weapon with like multiple effects and stuff. So anyways, on to the next thing that we're going to be doing today, I suppose. Okay, so what we're going to do next, let's get our iron. I've got that iron that we mined up, smelting up. We are going to make, I'm going to need two. We're going to go ahead and get ourselves 4 glowing ingots. And I'm going to need a dragon skull also, and 1 more piece of iron. There we go. Put that back in there. I'm sure you know where this is going, because I mentioned it last episode. We were going to be working on this, or doing this, but let's see, I've got stage 3 skull. That's fine. Let's go ahead and make ourselves a... Oh, it has to be an ice skull. That's fine. We can also use wither skulls, so it's not a big deal. Yeah, because I only need... I'll put one of these away. Let's go ahead and get our wither ring. Boom. There we go. And this makes us immune to withering. And then another thing that we're going to do real quick is... Oh, one more thing. Let's pull up silver, and I want a silver mace. Actually, it might be easier just to look up mace, because silver, there's like a million things for it. I want the silver flanged mace. This right here, and this is going to be our wither killing. And actually, moving forward, I've got to get mending on it, which I'm going to work on doing. Wait, I used a lot of my silver. I've got enough, though. That's plenty. Alright, let's go ahead and make our silver flanged mace. And hopefully, we got keen, plus 10% attack speed and damage. That's good. And the reason we're going with a silver flanged mace now is this is going to be our upgrade from our dragon bone. Now that we have smite. Before you get smite, it's not as good. But once you get smite, it's a huge difference. Because you've got 1.2 attack speed and you got 5.5 attack damage compared to the 8 attack damage. But this doubles up. So instead of just getting a flat 50% damage against undead foes, you get 100%, which before you get smite on it, it's not as much damage, but once you get smite on it, it's way more damage because it takes effect after the smite takes effect. So let's go ahead and I want to get 2 things on this, really. I want to get Unbreaking 3 and I want to get Smite 5. Later on, we'll make, once we get maybe like Supreme Smite or Advanced Smite or whatever, we'll get a better one. But there's our Smite 5 book, and then later on I might like to get Mending on it, but we'll see how things go. Well, honestly, there's an Unbreaking 2. That'll be fine for this, in all actuality. So we'll just do, I'm going to have to go get a little bit of XP here. Actually, there we go. I got that. So there's Unbreaking 2. There is Smite 5. Okay, so basically this thing is going to be massive damage against undead. So let's go ahead and switch that out. And then I've got my 6 wither skeleton skulls. I've got my wither ring. We're going to throw that on here in just a moment. Then we've got our soul sand. Okay, so what we're going to do, I'm actually probably just going to summon him underground here. Underneath the base is fine. I'll bring him way down. And I really don't see him being a big issue for us, but we'll see. This might be a terrible idea, but I don't think it's going to be. I think it's going to be pretty easy, to be perfectly honest. So we'll just set him up. Yeah, I don't really want to put him there. Yeah, this should be fine. I know you're probably thinking, Asgard, your base! It's going to get destroyed, but I don't think it's going to. We're going to chance it. We're going to chance it. So, anyways, we're going to go ahead and drop him down. Oh, let me throw in my wither ring real quick. There we go. Okay. Honestly, he might just hang out right there, basically. There we go. Wither dead. How easy can it be? Okay. Well, there we go. And let me remove this water. And let's go ahead and spawn ourselves another wither real quick. There we go. We'll get our second one. Exciting stuff. Exciting stuff. Wow, my silver flame mace took no damage. Okay. We'll go with that. Come here. Come here, you. There we go, and... Oh, there it is. Okay. I was going to say, where'd it go? And it looks like the wither drops cobblestone as well. He's got wither. Poor Shade. That's why you gotta have, yeah, that doesn't work. That's why you gotta have a wither ring, buddy. Alright. So that was a little bit anticlimactic. I think I overkilled it, but that's okay. We did take a little bit of damage. You can see, though, the durability on this super low. It only has 48 durability compared to the 1660. That's why I'd be really careful when making this and try to get mending on it ASAP. I'm not going to be using this over the flame mace until I get mending on it. But it is going to do massive damage. And I will say, if we were to max out melee damage and get the full 100% direct damage level, it's going to be massive, because you're talking 300% damage with this thing against undead. It's huge. It really is. It's huge. If you want to see something crazy, go into a test world and summon yourself a wither, but before you do, make yourself a well, let me just do smite. I can't remember if it's advanced or I think it's got supreme. Yeah, get yourself a mace, a flamed silver mace, and put supreme smite 5 on there. Max out your attack and your attack perks, and then also throw like subject PE 5 on there if you want to see some really crazy damage. And then for fun, you can throw leech or something on there as well, and you have this just monstrous undead face tanker weapon. That's just, it's way overkill. It really is. Okay, so we've got that. We've got our nether stars. And let's see, we can make the soul key. That's what I really like to make, I think, with our initial nether stars. I'd also like to make a waystone, I think. I think that's going to be the two things that we're going to make. And next episode, we're going to try our hand at probably the tier 1 Ray of Art fight, I think. I'd like to do that, and I'd also like to go back. You remember where we found the first dragon? There was that Lycanites dungeon. I would like to go tackle that, to be perfectly honest, because that would be fun times. I knew I had some more stone sitting around somewhere. I gotta get the rest of that stuff sorted out, which we're going to be doing here soon. So there we go. We got our waystone now, and this thing is going to be great, because what we can do is we can come over and we can just drop this thing down and say, roar, rart, rar. And then we can warp home, and then from home we can warp back over to rar, and then basically the idea is we throw this in a dungeon, that we're exploring or something like that, where we might be moving back and forth a lot. And then we can just pick this up and remove it and move it to wherever we're exploring next. So basically we have a portable waystone that we can use to basically save our progress, warp home, dump stuff off, go back. Even when we're exploring the world and we're really far out, inventory gets full, warp back, dump everything off, and then go back for more adventure. So, and then our other nether star, there's not a whole lot of uses for it. I mean, we can make beacons. That's cool, but probably not all that useful in this pack. Well, we could make some little boss areas and stuff like that, but we're going to be making a soul key with our other nether star for right now, because that's going to give us more access to more nether stars pretty easily. And yeah, so we'll tackle that next episode, I think. I need to make a new bow also between this episode and next, and maybe try to get mending on our legs would be ideal, I think. But anyways, I know it's about wrapping up point for this episode, so I'm going to end this one out here. And I've already told you what we're going to do next episode, chances are, unless things change. So I hope you guys enjoyed it. It was actually it was a pretty quick episode to record, but it's stuff that we've been kind of building up to and getting ready for, and some really exciting stuff. So if you guys have any questions or anything about like the super weapons from Lycanites, let me know down in the comments, and I'll try to get those answered for you. But like I said, we are going to be making some more advanced stuff later on, but this is a pretty good starting point, and this is actually a really useful tool for me farming cobblestone, especially since it drops the blocks. That's huge. That's just crazy. But anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed it. I hope to see you guys next time. Until then, as always, do take care. Stay safe. I'll see you guys then. Okay, I wanted to pop you guys in just really, really quick. I know it's like technically after the episode, but I was editing the footage and something I forgot to mention, and actually this episode will be a little bit shorter, but that's fine. I'm actually out hunting for clink scythes because they take the axe slot, and they work as a hoe, shears, and shovel. So that way I have a shovel and a pick in the same thing, and it can harvest a 48 by 3 by 3 with the shovel. Plus it can hoe the ground and everything, so it's going to be basically just a multi-purpose super tool once we get that on there. Now, one thing to note that I meant to mention, and I didn't mention it during the episode, you can technically enchant this. Now, in this pack, you're not going to be able to, but if you recall, like in Sevtech, I enchanted things that aren't supposed to be enchanted. If you're in a pack that has something like Mine Factory Reloaded or Astral Sorcery, you should be able to enchant the Lycanites tools just fine using those methods. Or if you're in like a creative mode world, or if you're in a test world or something like that, you can enchant them. Creative mode can enchant them, but survival mode you cannot. And if you do enchant them via some method and you pull parts off, it's going to reset it and you're going to lose the enchantments. So just a heads up on that. I just wanted to mention that since we are kind of covering Lycanites Equipment Forge stuff. This episode, I know it doesn't exactly relate to this series, but I just kind of wanted to give a heads up on that. So if you're in a different pack and you run into it, it could be possibly enchanted, but I don't think that there's any way within this pack to enchant it. So, okay, I want to pop you guys in because I found a clink. That's what I'm after right there. Because they can drop the clink blades, but honestly it might take a while because the Lycanite drops they're decently rare, so it's probably going to take quite a few kills, and clinks aren't super common in this area. So, but this is where they're going to spawn, is in deserts. But with the configs for this pack, it seems like Lycanites mobs really only spawn at night. So it's a little bit more tricky farming a lot of these up, unless we maybe go underground. Clinks might spawn underground, but I don't think so. I think they're above ground only, so... Really, I guess I need to just start coming here at night and farming. So, but anyways, I just want to pop you guys in and show you that mob in case you were curious what I was farming, but I'm probably going to be farming on this for a bit between episodes, because I'd really like to get that so we can finish out our pick. Because that's pretty much going to be like our... I don't know, super pick. I mean, we could put a pommel on it, but it's not really all that important. I think we could manage to get a little bit more speed out of it, but... Oh, there's a clink. When you're mining huge swaths of land, it's not that big of a deal. Okay, I just wanted to pop you guys in because I just got a forbidden fruit to drop. It just dropped off a skeleton while I was out here farming. Grants immunity to hunger, status effects, and nausea. It was either a skeleton or a husk, because there was one of each of those right here, and it was one of the two that dropped it. So, anyways, just a fun little fact I wanted to share with you guys. So, and I'm also going to start leveling up agility, I think. Try to get that up to max so I can get step up. But yeah, so anyways, I'll see you guys next episode.